How's it going, YouTube? Got FourthStarTCG here, and today I have another PSA submission video for you. Trying to get a lot of cards going off to PSA to jumpstart the eBay store, which is a perfect segue into today's sponsor, me. Please check out my eBay store, FourthStarTCG. I have got tons of cards listed from all different eras, all the way from vintage up through modern, at from graded to ungraded, from $10 cards up to multi-$1,000 cards. There's something for everyone there. So take a look. My eBay store is linked in the video description below, and let me know if you find anything interesting. So, without any further ado, let's crack into the PSA submission. This is just over 60 cards that are going off to PSA. I'm trying to average 100 or more cards off to PSA every month, and I've been doing pretty well on that. It might be difficult to keep up, but we'll see how we do. First up, I've got this Gyarados EX, a beautiful XY era full art. These cards are becoming a lot more popular recently, and you can see why. Look at that awesome texture, super cool. This card I've had in my collection for a while. I bought it, a really long time ago. It looks really clean. You might think, okay, looking at the back, looking at the center, you might be looking at a 10. There's some light scratching on the back. It's very difficult to see. You wouldn't be able to see it on camera, but there is some scratching, so probably something like a 9 on this card. But a 9 on this Gyarados EX would be fantastic. I would be very, very happy with that. Back when I bought this card, probably in like 2020 or something, getting a 9 was not financially viable to grade. Now it is. We've only got 2 English cards in this submission. The second English card is this awesome Kagimari Meno Slowking reverse rare from Delta Species. These reverse holos, especially the rare ones with the gold lettering, have been going crazy lately. I actually sold one of my reverse holos for what I consider to be a lot of money. I think I sold a Holland Phantoms reverse Latios for $3,700. So that was quite a big sale for me. That's partly going to why I'm sending so many cards off, is that I've been able to make some good sales and turn that money back around. Next up, we have Pokepark's Torchic. This is so cool. What a happy little Torchic. We love that. Not sure exactly. This came in a sealed promo pack. I actually opened up the sealed. This is sealed from a pack. So I'm hopeful that this will get a strong grade. Hopefully a 10, if not a 9. Centering looks good, so hopeful for a good grade on that Torchic. Next up, again, not a 4-star submission without some Japanese EX. And we've got Deoxys EX here. This one's pretty clean. It's got some minor wear here and there, so probably we're looking at a 9 on this card. I would be surprised if we get the 10, but it's just so cool. Look at that Deoxys. The holo pattern just jumps out. This is Mitsuhiro Arita art back in the EX series when he was doing 3D style art, so that's very cool. Got a couple of non-holos from the Earth's Groudon Constructed starter deck. We've got 2 Marshtomp. This is just a super fun Marshtomp. Hisao Nakamura art there, doing a little splash. Can't go wrong with that. Is this worth it to grade? Maybe not, but I love the card artwork, so we're sending it off. And we've got 2 Mudkip as well. Again, sort of very similar Hisao Nakamura art there. Fantastic. Got 2 Marshtomp, 2 Mudkip. We've got a Dark Ampharos holo from Rocket Gang Strikes Back. This is probably not going to get a 10 again. There's just some little bits of wear along the corner. You can see a little bit in the edges there. But even in a 9, these cards sell relatively well, $80, $85. So this card, just kind of sitting around in my collection. If it's getting a 9, it's probably worth it to pay the 20 bucks or so to grade it, and make a bit of profit. Could sell it raw. I have been selling more raw cards, but especially once you get up, there's a threshold. Selling raw cards that are like maybe $25 to $30, which I think that Ampharos would be. it really just, it's difficult because shipping's $5. You have to take that hit, and it's and eBay fees on top of that. Yeah, it's just kind of better to grade and get the value a little higher. Okay, next up we got this Latios non-hollow. Centering's a little off on this, but I'm still hopeful for a 10. Really clean on the back. I love these Diamond and Pearl era legendary non-hollows. There are quite a few of them, and a lot of them have really cool artwork. So yeah, rare non-hollow from the Diamond and Pearl era. Very cool. Got a couple of Diamond and Pearl hollows. Haven't sent off too many of these recently, but we've got an Ampharos. Beautiful Kuki Saito art there. Not really sure which set this is from. Diamond and Pearl 3. Is that Moonlit Pursuit and Shining Darkness, maybe? I'm not sure. Here's a swamp art from Platinum. Kagemaru Himeno art on that one. Really cool. Not sure if the values of these are super up there yet, but still really nice to grade. And, you know, if these are in pretty good condition. So there's an awesome Gardevoir, another Kuki Saito art there. That one's from Galactic's Conquest. I know Platinum won. Yeah, so these are pretty clean. Not much of anything on the back. Some dust there. Just on the card saver. But yeah, these are very nice, very good cards. I'm hopeful for high grades. Moving into black and white and Empoleon Hollow. Sending off more of my black and white hollows. I've got a bunch of them, but every now and then, every submission, I'll throw a couple in, a couple ones that I like. Got the Sceptile from Black and White 8, which is Thunder Knuckle. This one's looking off center top to bottom. We're going to pull that Sceptile and we're going to replace it with another Sceptile that's better centered. So I'm gonna make that executive decision now because I know that Sceptile is going to get a 9. Okay. Next up, we've got this Milotic, very nice. Love the Dragon. Okay, testing my knowledge here. Dragon Blade. Yes, Dragon Blade. Or Dragon Blast. I think Dragon Blade. Not sure. Black, White 5, the orange set. Yeah, I think that's Dragon Blade. Anyways, doesn't matter. Awesome Milotic. Got a Hydreigon here, black and white 8. I think this is Thunder Knuckle. 100% on that there. A little dust on the card saver. Something I haven't submitted in a while that I do have several of in this submission are black and white full arts. These are not 10 candidates. These are pulled from my not gradable box. They're pulled from my not gradable box because in the past, not gradable meant anything less than or possibly getting a PSA 9 on these black and white floors, but now 9s are quite expensive. So even cards that have a little bit of wear here and there, tiny bit of stuff on the edge in the corner, these are worth spending 20 bucks or so to grade. And, you know, I have been selling raw ungraded on eBay and it's doing pretty well. But partly I do like to grade cards just to get the kind of condition assessment out of my hands. You know, every time I sell an ungraded card, even though I've been in the hobby for a long time and I know what conditions are. Got a Jirachi, got some wear on the edge here, but it looks worse than it is. It looks worse on camera than it is in person. That's actually not all that bad. It looks like the edge is kind of destroyed, but it's really not. It's not as bad. Even though I know condition ratings, you know, I feel like a lot of people, and I've encountered this several times selling on eBay, a lot of people, they don't know condition ratings, right? And on eBay, it doesn't kind of matter what you say or what you do. It's really just, is the buyer happy or not? So they get a card that has, you know, some scratches and edge wear and maybe a tiny fingernail dent or something that you've labeled lightly played, and they're saying, you know, no, this is heavy played, and you're like, come on, you know, heavy played is like pieces of the card that are missing. which is kind of crazy. I think the eBay condition ratings might be a little lenient, but that's where they are, and that's what you have to list according to. But many people don't follow that, and then you get unhappy buyers. So even when I possibly could, you know, maybe I'm not making too much money by grading these cards. Here's a beautiful Articuno. That's so nice. Yeah, even in a 9, this card is going to be worth a bit of money. Yeah, it's just nice to PSA graded it. There you go. That's that. I've not had one complaint on a PSA graded card. So everyone says, well, what's the value of grading? You know, it's all subjective. You know, I guess true, but it standardizes condition a lot. Got Palkia here. I think I've got 2 Palkias. That's very nice. So there we go. And now into XY, I have 3 copies of this beautiful Mewtwo Arita Suicune. These were pulled myself way back when X and Y 9 came out. So it's just a full circle moment to be sending those off for grading. 3 of them, 1 is definitely going in my collection. It's such a nice card. All right, next up I've got 2 CP6 Zapdos. I've got a lot of these, submitting 2 at the moment just to sort of see how they grade, how they sell and stuff. So we'll see. These definitely will be going up for sale after they come back. But I love CP6 Holos. I think CP6 Holos are pretty undervalued right now for what they are. So good buy opportunity in my opinion. Got this beautiful Ancient Traits Celebi promo. I've debated sending this for a while. It does have just a little bit of wear at the top, so we're probably not getting a 10 on this card. I would be surprised if we did get that, but it's still beautiful. I mean, even in a 9, this card is going to be fantastic. So I'll be very happy with a 9 on that card. Next up, 2 Latios EX from X and Y6. Amazing artwork. I love this card, and yeah. So I whenever I get XY EX in, XY Black and White regular EX, they're worth it to send now. You don't make a ton of money, but they are profitable if you get 10s. That's kind of the difficulty. Next up, I've got a really cool set. I've got all of the Hoopa's appearance promos. So we have this awesome Mewtwo Arita Kyogre. I was looking for these for a long time. These are absolutely collection cards for me. The values are not there where it makes sense to sell. But look at that, the Groudon and Kyogre. I had this in a recent mail day, and they are just so good. I love these cards. I've got extra copies of them. Not really worth it to send off right now, but still, you know, I want these for my collection. Got the Latias and the Latios. Yeah, we've got Masakazu Fukuda, Latias, and Latios. So that's fantastic. And we've got Arita, Groudon, and Kyogre. Like, you just got superstar artists drawing awesome Pokemon. They're really, really well done. They are non-holo promos, but like I think I bought all of these for like under, maybe this Latias was the most expensive at like 1,500 yen, middleman fees included. Which is 10 bucks, you know, like all of these are less than 10 bucks. So I'm going to stop my rant there and get into the Sun and Moon era cards. We've got a Lugia GX full art, really, really nice from Super Burst Impact. This one's probably going to get a 9. It's off center, left to right. Kind of unfortunate that PSA seems to only go by the outside border, like outside of this black line for centering for Sun and Moon. Because if you like, that really exaggerates the fact that this card is off center. You can really see that, okay, yes, this left border is much smaller than that right border. But if you kind of included the whole border, including the black line and the other one, it wouldn't be that much off center. You know, probably still within that 55-45. But, you know, this outside black border really just, it makes it much easier to judge the centering, which is why I think getting a lot of these GX cards from the Sun and Moon era and high grades has always been difficult. Everyone says like, oh, PSA is harsh now. Like, no, go look back at my old PSA submissions from, 2019 when I was submitting GX Ultra Shiny cards that were off-center. They were giving them 8s fresh out of the pack then because they were off-center. So it's not a new thing. I can speak from experience in that regard. As you probably saw, I opened a Ash versus Team Rocket decks. We have the Ash's Pikachu and Team Rocket's Mimikyu GX. Awesome cards there. I thought about submitting these at a higher tier, but again, as you can see, the centering's a little bit off on these. Top to bottom on the Pikachu. The left to right centering is good, but top to bottom is a little off. You see the top border a little bigger than the bottom border. I still think it's within the bounds of a PSA 10, but I don't want to send it at a higher tier and get a 9, and I'm effectively overpaying for grading in that regard. So what we're going to do, we're going to send both of these off to PSA at the bulk tier, 20 bucks a card, and if they get 10s, PSA will handle it. They'll upcharge me and I'll pay the fees then. Next up, got a lot of cards from those Ash versus Team Rocket deck. Got the Team Rocket's Harassment. That's fantastic. I graded one of these previously. It got a 9. I still sold it for like, I think $100, which is pretty crazy. Got Ash's Friendship. I looked this card up after the opening. Really, really nice. Fantastic card there. We've got the Rowlet that Ash is hiding in his backpack. Oh, you're just going to hear me gush over these cards and how awesome they are yet again. Some of these cards are a little off-center, top to bottom. Left to right is good. Still think we're within the bounds of a PSA 10. Would kind of stink to get a bunch of 9s on these, but, that's just how things roll with centering sometimes. The awesome Togedemaru with Pikachu. This is quite an expensive card. Hopeful for the 10 on that. But again, centering is a little off, so if we did get the 9, I would understand. I'd probably point to centering as the reason. Tauros here. And yeah, as you can see with these deck cards, they're mostly centered the same, off-center, top to bottom. So hopefully they're all within the bounds for a 10 and they get a 10. I've got 2 Bewares. Got one from, I opened the Mimikyu deck and then I opened another Mimikyu deck previously. So now sending off both Bewares. Got 2 Meowths to send off. Very nice, love that. Really cool artwork there. Very fearsome Meowth. We've got 2 Wobbuffets. Very cool. Love that. Again, just so, the artwork is amazing. And because we opened 2 decks, we've got 4 Marinis. I think these are usually like $100 10s. The other, not the sort of Togedemaru Pikachu and the Team Rocket's Harassment. Those are more expensive stuff. But the other ones, probably around 100, 150 in a 10, which is still very good. We've got a Legends Arceus promo. This is so beautiful. This is another good buy, I would say, at this point in time. It's amazing artwork. Reminds me of the Ancient Trait cards, and it's pretty cheap. Purchase promo. Yeah, unique art. Awesome. I've got a bunch of these promo Pikachus, sending off 2 more of them. I'll just throw them in every submission or 2, throw a couple more in. Promo full art Pikachu ticks all the boxes. I remember when I had these in a mail day, I was saying, Pikachu promos, they only tend to do one thing, which is go up in value. I'm often loath to say things like that because things can do and will change. But it just seems like, eventually you just have to acknowledge what's been happening and ride the wave, which transitions us into the last card that we are submitting quite well, which is the BURGERCHU. We've got 6 copies of BURGERCHU here. This whole submission could be BURGERCHU. Well, actually it couldn't because I haven't gotten in all the other copies I ordered. But this was one where I looked at this and said, yep, exclusive Pikachu art promo. I am buying at pretty much any price on release, and I bought quite a few of these. Not all of them are in yet. And the prices just kept going up. Usually Pikachu promos, they kind of settle for a bit, and then, you know, a couple of years later they go up in value. But you know, in our market today, everything is just going so fast. This card has gone from, I bought several of these on release at like 1,600 yen. It went up pretty quickly to like 2,900 yen. Now it's like 9,000 yen over the last couple of days. It's shocking. Not to say that I couldn't see it coming. I bought a bunch of these at just kind of like standard price. I think I bought more at 20. I bought a couple at the initial like 1,700, 1,600 yen price. I bought more at 2,700 yen or 2,800 yen. I bought a bunch of packs. You'll see them at some point in the future at 4,000 yen. So I'm still buying at the higher prices, but I think I might be priced out now at, you know, 9,000 yen for a pack, you know, 9,000 yen for Pikachu. It's just crazy. So there we go. That is 60 cards that are going off to PSA. These will be off in the next couple of days, and hopefully we'll get them back in, I don't know, 4 or 5 months or so. It's going to be a while before I start getting back all of the returns that I've sent off, but once we do, it's going to be pretty sweet. We'll have new inventory for the store, new cards for the collection coming in very fast, which is awesome. So thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and stick around for more videos.